What I found fascinating about swarms is that they have these interactions on different levels.
What I find super interesting about swarms is that the individual behavior influences the behavior of the whole group, but also vice versa.
The study of collective behavior is not just important because we want to understand different animals and their collective behavior. We also want to understand us as humans because we are also collective animals, and how we make decisions and how we transport information is very basic for us.
So what really motivated me to join the cluster was to be part of this community and go to talks that are not just only about neuroscience, but also talks about economy or about psychology, and get to know more and different inputs.
I have a very interdisciplinary background because I study cognitive science in my bachelor's. So I was more than happy that after my master's in computer science I could do interdisciplinary research again and use my skills from math and computer science to work in the fields of biology and psychology.
The PhD swarm is very interdisciplinary and consists of up to 50 young PhDs, all young scientists who are really eager to learn also what happens outside their specific field, want to know what approaches there are, how people do science, to learn and get inspiration and to know what's going on.
I'm very excited to continue staying at the cluster for advanced study of collective behavior due to the uniqueness of the place and approaches being used. And the second big motivation is really this very cool imaging hangar that allows experiments to be done that could not be done anywhere else.
I'm a neuroscientist and I want to understand how the brain works. We started using tracking technologies. We want to get more data from the animals, understand better how they move around. And for this it is a big advantage to be here in Konstanz because we can use the tracking systems that have been developed here, for example by the CASCB lab. The next steps in the future are to really look inside the brain while these animals are behaving in a group or are exposed to social context, and to see how the brain reacts to the social environment.
We as computer scientists do different things in the cluster. From the tracking, over analyzing, we visualize the data to finally allow us to see what is going on in these very complex crowds. We hope to do that for a variety of animals, from insects up to the human.
We see collective behavior everywhere on different scales, reaching from neurons to whole societies. So I think it's very important to understand the concepts of the behavior of animals, but also humans.
To me personally, a really important topic is climate change. And this impacts everything around us and inside us. It's really important that we use our knowledge and our experience at the cluster to further understand, first of all, the impacts of climate change, but also how we can mitigate this and how we can soften, so to say, the disaster impacts. And for example, our studies in ecology, how animals behave and how they move around, will be really valuable in understanding this.
We have a really nice community here where everybody is well integrated, and also the young group leaders, they're on the same level as the professors and the directors in the Max Planck. Having the cluster here in Konstanz enables us also to hire more people for longer contracts, to give them more stability and enable them to really do their research here.
As PhD representatives, we organize many events for the PhD students to foster the interdisciplinary exchange, but also create this nice working atmosphere. And we can all learn many things from each other.
We go for lunch every Tuesday, which is really informal, and we just meet at the Mensa, and then you're having lunch with someone who studies machine learning, and then thinks like, oh, but how do your fish work? It's interesting. Can I maybe use your data to train a model? This is so cool to have all these cross interactions between the disciplines.
Within the cluster, we really work very hard on diversifying our community to increase the representation of women and other underrepresented minority. So that's very important for us because it's really increased the richness to succeed in science.
The biggest success of the cluster is the structures that have been changed at the university. Not just that we build a huge community that works on collectives, but also now we get a closer connection to the Max Planck Institute at the university. A number of professorships have been changed, so overall Konstanz is the hub for quantitative analysis of collective behavior.